Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the book of prophecy from the Old Testament. And I did it, well, because I was taught the prophecy in its scattered, diverse form as the child of a Christian. I was Lutheran. And I gave myself to God in 1979 at the age of 17. And I have served God ever since. My life has been a lifelong quest to serve God in a single cause, to end the pain and suffering of all on the planet Earth. That's a big order. And that's quite a big order coming from a 17-year-old, which was how old I was at the time. Side note, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. That was when that was a new game. And I was playing Dungeons and Dragons and dealing with this horrific event that had, well, set of events that had happened from my childhood. I had been sexually raped as a toddler by a family member who had been injured in a car accident and could not control himself. So there is no blame to be had by anyone in the tragic events that led to my ascension. And ascension is where it led me. Um, when I was going crazy, remembering these tragic events that tore my mind and soul apart, before I was ever even capable of being anything or even dreaming dreams, I called out to God, believing in the Bible, in the Christian Bible. I called out first to Jesus, and Jesus did not answer. In desperation, I called out to the Old Testament God, the God of Israel. And that God did answer in that name and sent me on a personal quest to do just what I'm doing now, to open the way for the salvation of humanity, for the ascension of certain humans into a higher level of being, which I'm going to call quantum, because it is scientifically the interface between quantum reality and physical reality. It is the interface between what is coming into being and what is. And this unique place that I live is accessible to a select few humans. Not every human is capable of becoming spirit. In fact, spirits are hard won. It took me my entire lifetime, and I'm 58 years old, so it took me my entire lifetime to ascend and to, well, I have not yet succeeded in my ultimate personal goal, which is to reunify with my soulmate, to take that next step in quantum, to more fully actualize our spiritual connection, to fully unify ourselves, to activate within ourselves that part of us which is the other, which is divinity. But you have to get there step by step. And that is a hard-won process. Now, some people, this is the ultimate goal of life, is to go through this process. And we have all been going through this process since our creation. So all of us are somewhere on the path of ascension. Now, 99.9% of us are on the physical plane, the reality plane, the place where things are solid, like this cup and the coffee and my body. But where does all this come from? What what made this cup a lot? What made this cup capable of being a cup? Where did the cup come from? Where does everything come from? It comes from here. It comes from the mind. It comes from the singularity. That point of light that is the I. And I must decide what I'm going to create in my world, whether it be a cup or salvation. It's the same process. You decide, and it is the deciding of things that empowers you and creates what comes next in your individual life and in the lives of everyone around you, because it's a rippling effect. We are all little. Okay, you know how you take a pebble and you throw it into a pond and it makes this big concentric circles that go out, and the circuits keep coming and they go forever until they dissipate. Well, we are all of us pebbles in ponds. The surface of the pond is physical reality, and everything that we do creates waves within the surface time space. That's what the surface is. The surface of the water is time space. That is where we are actualized. That is where our point of singularity coincides with physical matter in this form that we take, the flesh. The flesh is made up of molecules, and those molecules are made up of quantum particles. We are the energy that binds the quantum particles that merge together in unity and become matter. And those pieces of matter did come together to create all things. And it all starts with the I. You know that third eye we were said to have here? That is our singularity. And when that singularity is activated by will, by actualization, by realization, then you become that light. And that light is what a ghost is. Somebody who's disembodied. When you see a ghost on camera, you see the singularity that is the I of that person. And that little bit of glow that you see around them is their life force. Now, if you notice this point of light, it is infinitesimally bright for the tiny point that it is. It has no mass, or maybe just a tiny fraction of a mass. It is all brightness. It is all light. It is singularity. And that singularity is a soul. Now, when that singularity embodies anything, it starts as a single cell within the womb of its mother. And the mother provides it with the means to create itself. And it creates itself within the confines of the mother's womb. using the material provided through the umbilical cord, which she gives energy to through her ingestion of food. And that is how life is created, from a singularity, from this tiny point of energy that you see floating in midair in haunted places, to this living, breathing being that inhabits the world and can interact with things like cups. Now, if we are all of us, these little points of light, these little singularities, death doesn't have a meaning. Because if you could see the singularity with the naked eye, when somebody dies, you would literally see this little point of light come out of their forehead and go off. It would go off into the light if it is a good soul, and it would go off into the dark place if it was a dark soul, into the earth to become matter in a different form called plants. But that's another story. But anyway, your little singularity that is you goes beyond life, goes beyond that physical plane, because it's the thing that generates the magnetism that holds the body together. When we get old, it's like our singularity is like, I'm done with this body, man. It's like, it's breaking down, it's old, it's ugly, it's fugly, I don't want to fucking deal with this shit anymore. And it contracts itself back into this point of light. And when this point of light reconstitutes himself completely into that little point, the body dies. Now, as you generate physical being in a body, you expand your energy from the singularity to the spiritual form of the body that you inhabit, whether that be a leopard or a lady. And once you leave the body, that singularity, it's like you can take that form with you, and you can become a ghost of that form. But most people go into the light, reunite with their past selves, and then go through the process of merging with another piece of matter that becomes whatever they inhabit in their next form. And that is the basis of reincarnation. How a single entity goes from one state to the next. Now, you have to be able to go beyond death to the singularity, to the energy that is in the singularity, in order to understand the process that you are within the body. If you fear death, if death is the end of your flesh, then your flesh is only physical. And your spirit has nothing, okay, your soul has nothing to do with it, because if your spirit, you know, you're beyond that already. Some of you just aren't aware that you're beyond that. You have to wake up. So, you are a singularity, not a body. If you choose to become spirit, to seek your other half, then walk the unicorn path. May the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Stay happy and high. Find your joy. Be your joy. And spread that joy into the world. Know that I love you. I'll see you later, because I'll never say goodbye.